Welcome everybody to the Glory Today show. It's awesome to have you guys with us again tonight. My apologies for the delay, y'all. And for some reason, I just last minute we get some technical things going on. So and we've been just trying to solve it quickly as we come live. It's just last minute shenanigan. So you said you cannot hear me. Okay, as long as people can hear me, production, you don't have to hear me. No, I'm sorry, it's not a joke. I'm not kidding. It's. I wish you can hear me, y'all. So let me see quickly because I can't even get in the system. So yeah, listen, there's this amazing story I want to share with you guys. Some things I've been looking into, and I just encourage you as you're connecting with us, you're just tuning in. Please make sure you just share the link with friends and family. I'm checking out the chat right now. I'll be looking at the chat and trying to get your thoughts on this. My apologies for us being late. It was not attended plan, but it's just so happened that we've been dealing with some things in the studio. But take this moment to just invite friends and family, tell them they're finally here. You can use those words if you want. They are finally here. They have landed. They finally made it. And then we just have an amazing conversation. Meanwhile, I'm trying to see what I need to do to fix something for our amazing production so that they can get. Yeah, you get it? Amazing. Well done. So now let's get started with this show. So good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the Glory Today show. Tonight's message is serious. It is simple and urgent. The theme of tonight is wake up. It is wake up. And what does that mean? What will it take? And really, I just want to go through this with you guys. What will it take for you to realize that danger does not always arrive by kicking the front door open? And sometimes we have this perception that we're gonna see danger, we're gonna see it happening, we're gonna see it coming. So we'll be prepared. By God's grace, we will have all the tools that we need. And I get it. And as a man of faith, I believe that we're gonna use discernment and some things we see coming. But also there's things that we are not seeing coming. And that's what's gonna be the show of today. And how can I say? Sometimes danger is gonna enter quietly, and sometimes it shifts the ground under your feet while you are still sleeping. And sometimes by the time you notice, your house is no longer standing where you thought it was. And there's an image I want to share with you guys. And this image, it depicts everything that we're going to discuss tonight really in the context. You go to sleep in peace. Your bed is warm. Your family is safe. The walls are still intact. The lights still work. The pictures are still hanging. Everything, just imagine, everything inside the house looks the way it's supposed to look. The dog is at peace. The cat is meowing as usual. Even the rats are playing around. Show the image if you will. But while you're sleeping, your whole house is lifted and they move to the top of a mountain, not to a peaceful mountain view, but the edge of a deadly cliff. Morning comes, you wake up smiling, stretching, and good morning. But you don't hear any sound of the birds. And you're just like, it's all right. You see the sun coming up. And you walk to the front door. You open it. And your heart drops. One step outside and you fall to your death. As you can see in this incredible image. That is how deception works. That is how compromise works. That is how culture change works. That is how spiritual sleep looks like. That is how it works. The danger here, family, is the fact that we are unaware of our surrounding. The danger did not just start when we open the door, the danger started while you were asleep. It creeps at you at night. So tonight I want to ask you one simple question. What will it take for you to wake up? What will it really take for you to wake up? And in the show of tonight, I'm going to show you some stories that I encourage you to take time to think about it. Think about what I'm saying. Share in the chat what you think about it. I'm looking forward to hear from you. And my heart desire from the bottom of my heart really is that you take this information, you look into it for your own self, you study it, you understand it, and then you find the truth for your own self. Because the truth is not just because I said it. It's not just because the mainstream is not saying it or is saying it. But the truth is going to be based on what you believe is the truth as you find it. But at the end of the day, you need to understand as well, truth is not always relative. Truth is absolute. So if you have something that I do not have, one of us is wrong. So it's important that you really take time to dive deep and figure out what the real truth really is. Let's begin with something very funny. And this is a very funny story that, what can I say? That means everything. And it's a story that I kind of, it's human, it's a painful truth. And this clip is viral. It's like 23 million views on social media. I saw about it. And that many people, and it depicts the idea that many people sound wise when the battle belongs to somebody else. And all of us have been through this type of situation. When that same pain that you've been experiencing reach them, that's when people show you their real colors. But when you're going through trials and tribulation, pain, all kind of things, people are telling you, be strong, come on. Don't just focus on the idea around you. Don't be caught up into the situation only, but stay strong. Don't be fooled. Don't allow that person to change you, okay? Allow God to fight for you, for the Christians. Like God is going to battle for you, my Lord. We've heard it. Let me just change the color behind me because I don't like it at all. God is going to fight for you. God is going to fight for you. God is going to battle for you. That's what people say. Because it is your situation. You go and see the pastor and say, Pastor, I'm drowning. I'm struggling. You know what the pastor said? The pastor said, don't worry. I'll be praying for you. And God is going to manifest himself. Cue this video, because this video is a depiction of that brother, that friend of yours. Until the story hit them, they don't understand what it means to go through that same situation. Then see their reaction at the end. Let's go. Okay, play it again. I think that went too fast. People did not realize it. Play it again. Look at that. Stole the phone.
Don't worry. He collected the phone. The Lord will fight your battle. If I be a man of God, this boy will come back here and give your phone. Pastor, are you sure? Exactly. God, don't worry. Mercy upon us. This boy, he collected your phone. It's your phone, no? Blood of Jesus.
Pause it right there. Y'all get it? Did you guys get it? Or do you want me to play it again? I do hope you get it. So the thief came, stole the phone. The pastor holding back is like, no, don't worry. If I be a man of God, that phone is coming back. Look at it this way. You are walking in the street and somebody steal your wallet. And the friend you're with, they say, don't worry about it. That wallet is coming back. That guy is going to get caught by the police. Don't worry. And then few seconds later, they realize the wallet is theirs. They will scream from the mountain to police, help! Help! Somebody! He stole my wallet. And then he said, no, don't worry about it. God is going to fight your battles. God is going to fend it. And we see this in our society. People are going to tell you, don't worry about it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a different culture. Just some people from a different part of the world. That's the only way they express themselves. No. It's not happening to them. That clip is funny, but it cuts a bit deep. A lot of people have wisdom for other people's pain. A lot of people sound strong when the danger is far away. When the situation is not happening to you, it's happening to the neighbor, it's happening on the other side of the river, on the other side of the city. But when it becomes personal, suddenly it's all hands on deck. Anybody you can call, send them. Even the dog of the neighbor, go, help, find it. That is one of the biggest problems of our times. People do not wake up when the truth is spoken. They wake up when the pain becomes personal. And that's a sad truth. Until we experience something, it's never real. It is never real enough. Let me say at least that. And in this next segment is a segment I call Quiet Takeover and Long-Term Strategy. And this next clip presents a warning about long-term strategy and institutional influence. The concern that are being raised here are really major. Change that does not always come through violence often, and sometimes it's come through patience, structure, and slow penetration of system. So you see people, and I see this is a strategy that the enemy uses a lot as well. It comes slow, focused, and by the time you realize what's happening, it's almost too late. They've already positioned themselves in the place where you cannot do anything about it. Almost like that house analogy. By the time you realize, you wake up in the morning, your house has been moved in a very dangerous situation. But you've been sleeping, so you thought everything was just fine. You thought everything was okay. And we see this a lot with the Christians, And now is when there is a post that I was going to share with you, but that I saw that the Christians, finally the UN or the, I'm not sure what system is that, they finally recognize they call it a Christianity phobia or something, Christian phobia. Instead of Islamophobia, now there's a Christianophobia or something like that has been finally acknowledged to let you know that Christians are in danger. Christians is one of the highest persecuted religion here on earth today. It would be weird if it was outside of the earth, right? So let's check out this next clip, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it.
In 2001, Swiss authorities raided the home of a Muslim Brotherhood operative. His name was Yosef Nada. They discovered documents outlining what the Brotherhood internally called the Project. This is a copy of it. It dated back to 1982, and its stated goal was to establish an Islamic government on earth. Now pause that. That's a pretty big goal, right? Pretty massive statement. Not a mosque. They're not doing a charity, not community service. No. A global government. And the method described in this document is not invasion. It wasn't flying airplanes into buildings. It was institutional penetration, temporary cooperation with non-Islamist groups.
Pause it for me
flexibility
for a second.
According.
This is what we are seeing. Often we see people in our lives that are from Islamic background. I'm not talking about Muslim. There are Muslim people who have no idea about all these plans. There are those people who practice practice Islam as a religion itself, but they're not really busy. They're not part of the cabal, that group of people where have a systematic plan of penetration where they are really orchestrating sort of like a coup I'm not talking about those. We're talking about those who have an ideology. And I can hear you people thinking, I was like, yeah, but how do you know those people? Understand, if there's anything you need to understand about Islam, you must learn about Islam, is that is a religion that is well organized. They have a plan and agenda. So, and I just have to be careful because the Muslim Brotherhood have a long time range vision for influencing through institutions and cooperation. And for that reason, they study hard, they prepare themselves, they plan very strategically and very smooth and very quietly. They are not in the rush. You can go to the UK and understand this phenomenon. You can go in the US. In fact, if you stay long enough on the show, I'm going to show a video how they explain it themselves for you to be able to grasp that it is not just a practice of religion. When you see them come on the streets, bowing down and doing these chants, when you see them take over the park in the city, it's not because they do not have a houses of prayer where they could do it, but it's because they are testing to see the reaction of the people. They are testing to see how, cooperative you can be, or how subjugated you could be, or how, my God, it's the same thing that was done with COVID, believe you me. Testing to see if we're going to comply, yes or no. So when you see them come in your neighborhood, put down a mosque, put speakers outside, if you just be playing music aloud after 9 o'clock, your neighbors will call the police will come and shut you down right there. Okay, maybe some cities after 10 o'clock. Let me don't exaggerate that part. But what happens when in your cities a mosque comes and they are bouncing out music and call for prayer? I don't know how many times a day. And there's nothing you can do about it. It makes you wonder, but why is there a rule for thee and not for thou? But it's because they are the creator of legislations, because they have penetrated governments to establish actually their plans. And you're going to hear very soon what that is. Please continue.
To local conditions, to work through institutions, and to gain control of local power centers. In other words, blend, adapt, influence.
One of the most controversial examples of this quiet yet forceful influence dates back to 2010 in a move made by New York City that sickened many Americans throughout the nation.
As a concerned citizen of New York,
opponents call it a mosque in the worst possible place.
This building in particular should be turned into a museum.
Supporters call it a cultural center in the best spot to encourage understanding.
If a mosque were built, then you guys would know what Islam was about.
At issue, this building in Lower Manhattan, the proposed site of a 13-story community center and Islamic prayer space.
This is the Muslim community's effort to rebuild Lower Manhattan.
The controversy? It's only 2 blocks from ground zero.
The community center, which houses a mosque, was pitched by real estate developer Sharif El-Gamal, who said he had a spiritual awakening after 9/11.
The debate about the Ground Zero Mosque, that very building, was struck by some of the debris from one of the planes that crashed into the World Trade Center, is all the more ironic and outrageous, really, when you think that the guy who is the mayor of the city of New York at the moment is a jihadist. If you don't think that every Sharia supremacist on the planet is not only taking note of that, but taking heart from it, this seeming, 25 years later, conquest of New York, our most important city, arguably, they're getting it, and they are emboldened by it and seeking to redouble their efforts, as the Quran says, to make us feel subdued.
You get that? They are trying to create a mosque. You can't even make these things up. They want to put a mosque next to ground zero of 9/11. And you may say, Glory, but why is that a big deal? Why does that matter? Whether people like it or not, strategies matters. Ideas matters. Long-term planning matters more than anything. One of the greatest mistakes weak society makes often is pretending that organized belief system do not have organized goals. When you feel like, no, it is just, they don't have any other exterior plan beside just wanting to have a house of prayer, that's when you already lost the whole conversation right there and then. Because, how can I say, this is not just a random growth. Let me say this. This is not an accidental change whatsoever. This is a strategy. This is something for you to understand, is that it is a long-term thinking. This is the movement that are there for a takeover. They want to root themselves in the way that there's nothing you can do about it eventually. I promise you. We must wake up and understand that if you do not stand for your right, you're going to lose it completely. You will have no right at the end of the day to stand for. Why does this matter, really? Why is this story important for you to understand? Because you have to understand that the house did not move in 1 second with fireworks. It moved slowly, carefully, and while people were still asleep, while everything was still looking normal, while you're eating your lasagna and drinking your Kool-Aid, while you're cuddling at night with your partner and pretending that that smart sound you're playing on your speakers was somewhere in an Amazon vacation house. While you're doing all these things, your house was being moved. And they were singing lullaby, tell you, don't worry, nothing. Everything you hear, the shaking, don't worry about it. Everything is fine. If there was anything wrong, the city would have played the alarm and you would have understood what's going on. So, is there anything that we can do about all this except prayers? Well, I think there's a lot we can do. And it starts by, first of all, awareness. It starts by understanding what we're up against. When people tell you what they want to take over, believe them the first time. When they're telling you this is what we're coming to do, understand it, believe it. Research it, look into this story, because it's not just about what we are talking about. It's not about what Glenn actually, what you heard from, I think that was a clip with Glenn, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, exactly. Thank you so much for that production. So that was Glenn just really explaining this to you so you understand. Yes, Glenn Beck, that's what I was looking for, Glenn Beck. And if you know this man, you know that he's not just a man that's going to come up with some a story out of nowhere. Somebody who has... He's not talking out of his neck, indeed. He's really somebody who's coming from a point of research. Look at the studio he's sitting in. My goodness. That's what we are hoping to achieve one day with the Glory Today show. Anyhow, let's move on from this story. And thank you guys for connecting with us. And thank you for subscribing. If this is the first time you join us, please make sure you hit that like, hit that sub, and share this broadcast with friends and family. We started a little late because of some shenanigans, but by God's grace, we're able to fix the issues we were having so that next time we don't have to deal with it again. That is the hope and the trust. Amen. And the church say, amen. So production, what's our number next video that is next? Number 2. Okay. So now, as we move on in this next segment, y'all, this is a particular story that I think, how can I say? This is the next video that I think that let me just say this. The next video presents a man speaking very openly about Islamic growth and the domination. If you understand what the word domination is, it means I'm not about fitting in. I'm not about sitting around with you and having a barbecue and sing kumbaya, but I'm coming to move you out of the city. Out, not just close by the city. The concern being raised here is not just the word themselves, but the confidence behind them, the belief system behind them. This clip really is it is framed as a direct statement about Islam spreading through demographic and family lines until it dominates society. And understand, if you want to debate this with me, that's okay, but just think about this for a moment. How many children do you have? If you're a parent. And I'm talking about you as a parent from the European society, from the Western society. How many children do you have? And if you're not a parent yet, you want to become a parent, how many children are you planning to have? Think about it. Because most of us thinking about it is like, I want to have 1 or 2 children. Even 2, having 2 children is already making your brain crack because your friend and your family member are telling you, how are you going to support those 2? But then there's a group of people that are coming out in your society, in our place, and they will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 children. They will have 1, 2, 3 wives. They will, Lord have mercy, marry your daughters, but you cannot marry their sons. Think about it. You cannot marry their sons because their sons, no, you cannot, how can I say? They will marry your daughter, but your sons cannot marry their daughter. That's what I want to say. You cannot marry their daughter. That's the wording. Excuse me for that. But why can't you not marry their daughter, but they can marry your daughter? Because they understand more than us here in the Western world the structure of a family. The influence comes from a father down. The mother nature manages and supports the vision that the father lays. So your children are actually easy to grow up following in a footstep of the father and that of the mother. Don't blame me. I'm just a messenger. Think about it. So with that mindset, understand that the reason why they can marry your daughter, because they can influence the children, because for them, every child born to a Muslim family is automatically Islam. Is automatically a Muslim. But if their daughters are married to your sons, it means because the daughter will separate herself from the father's name and adopt the husband's name and culture. It is a fallacy for us to believe from the Western culture that when to get married, you can still keep your name and culture. And that's all good. It doesn't work like that in these cultures. It doesn't work like that in this systematic regime change, if you will. Plans that they have. Listen to the language in this next video, and you will understand what he's saying, because he's saying, and I'm not saying it, he's telling you, it comes like a threat. It is not sugarcoat. It is not, he tells you that my religion is not a religion of peace. This is not what it is. This idea of let us all live together, it does not apply for them. It says this is domination. It is confidence. It's a man speaking as if history already belongs to him and resistance is pointless. Basically, they're telling you on this point, you might as well just go and move to the Middle East and let us move here. They don't even want you to move to the Middle East, by the way. So now the question is, where do they want you to go? And funny enough, there is something he said in this video. You're going to hear it in the moment. He said, America, Canada, Australia does not count because they conquered land. And this conversation does not apply to them. Think about it. But yet they are in the country that they're trying to conquer. They are in the country that they're trying to conquer. But then they're telling you, because you went and conquered another nation, that makes you a bad person. It makes you evil. Come back in your own country, then we can have a conversation. Please go on and cue that video.
White people, if you are white and you're listening to this, listen very closely. Lately, I've been seeing many of you complaining about Islam and the immigration and stuff like that. And I'm going to separate the white people in two categories. The Americans, Canadians, and Australians do not count because they are white people that live in a country that's not theirs. You guys have invaded those lands from the rightful owners. So when you guys get back to Europe, then we can talk. But for the European white people complaining about immigration and Islam, first of all, I want to tell you that Islam is going to take over every single square inch of the globe. And you guys might think that it's going to be us, dark-skinned people, that are going to take over. No, it's going to be your own people. As you can see how fast Islam is growing, in the next 10 to 15 years, every white person is going to have a Muslim member in his family. Nowadays, you see white Europeans with blue eyes and blonde hair reverting back to the truth because they have finally seen the truth. And the thing is, there's nothing you guys can do to stop it. You guys can hate Islam as much as you want, and I want to thank the Western media for spreading Islam. A lot of weak-minded Muslims think that the media is picking on us and bullying us, but really and truly the Western media is working with us. They have succeeded in spreading Islam.
You hear that?
But intentionally. And a lot of people did not know about Islam, but nowadays we are the most talked about religion on the media, and thanks to the Western media for spreading the truth. And so I want to say there's nothing you guys can do to stop Islam, nothing. And also, just to add it, the weak Muslims are the ones just to add it, sorry about the noise, just to add, it's the weak Muslims that always talk about Islam being a religion of peace. Islam is not, it's not a religion of peace.
You had it from the horse's mouth.
It means to submit to Allah, and it is a religion of justice. Put that in your head. It's the weak so-called Muslims, the cowards of this ummah, that claim that Muslims are religion of peace. I want to clarify that as well. Islam is a religion of justice. We can be peaceful, but when it comes to it, we know how to defend our land, our religion, and our honor.
You understand? Leave him on the screen like that. Islam is not a religion of peace. It can be peaceful, but it is not their priority. If you're watching us on Facebook, just let us know if everything is all right, because I'm seeing some shenanigan out there. Okay. My apologies, because we are fixing things and things keep happening, new stuff, but we'll get on top of it all. So what did you guys get out of this short little video? My God. Production. Studio. What did you guys get out of this little video? Production says I'm not surprised. Oh my God. Now you guys are saying that there is a video that I need to show you. Oh, guys. So production, just get ready. I think I will show it later, not now. So don't worry about it. Just get ready. Just looking to make sure I have it here, because when you said Jesus is King, it just reminded me there's a short little video that I wanted to show our viewers, and I really pray to God I had prepared it, because I think I had, but I missed it somehow. It is well. We'll find it if we need to. So, why does this matter? This is one of the moments where we need to show again that house on the cliff. It's not only moving, how can I say, it's not only moving some people, but it is really moving the whole nation, the whole country. So they're openly telling you they are moving it, they are moving you, they are taking you to different places. And still people refuse to listen. People refuse to listen. Let me say this again. When people tell you they want to take over, you must believe them. They're telling you. They're not coming to mingle with you, to have fun, drink your brushy tea and coffee. They are burning bacon. There is a guy who get arrested because of a bacon in Britain. You can't make these things up. Anyway, let's move on, because it's up to you to find out the truth, because the Bible says you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. For those who are religious enough to understand the scriptures of the Bible, powerful story. And as we move on in this next clip, guys, I believe this is the clip number 3 that we're gonna move to, and the next story reach back into history. We go back into the issue. The clip presents the idea that America's encounter with Islam is not a new thing, and that early leaders studied this belief system seriously, that they understood that ideas shape nation. The whole concept of America is an idea that came into reality. So when people come to the Western world with ideas and they're telling you their ideas, but you refuse to believe it, understand that the loss is going to be on you, not on anyone else. So, cue this next video, but I can give you a short summary of this next video, really, because the next video, this short summary is like the story linked to Thomas Jefferson and the Barbary conflict. And the first Quran printed was in America, the first Quran printed in America. The main point is that the history matters, and the wise leaders study ideologies because beliefs do not stay private. They get shared. They shape law, culture, and the national direction. They transform the whole directive of a nation. And Thomas Jefferson is one of the founder fathers of the United States of America. So that's Thomas Jefferson. He's one of the, I was going to say pilgrim, if you will, one of the people who helped also establish the Constitution of the United States of America. And it was written from biblical values. That's how the Constitution of America was formed on, from a biblical understanding. And that's where the phrase comes from, in God we trust, and that's why they still swear every leader on the Bible, except Zoran Mandan. And Zoran Mandan, he is right now the current, I was going to say governor, but he's not a governor, the current of New York City, who is a mayor, the current mayor of the New York City. He was sworn on the Quran, believe it or not. That's where they are forcing us to go. Please go and cue that video.
It's interesting. America has had trouble with Islam for a long time.
Yeah.
The first Quran ever published in America was 1805 under President Thomas Jefferson. Now, why did we print a Quran in America? Because we had just finished a long war with these guys, and people say, what do these guys believe that
Barbary
pirates? War?
pirates.
Exactly. And we'll read their Quran, and you'll see that this is not a religion of peace. This is a religion of conquering. It's not a religion of equality. I love the way that President Eisenhower said this back in his day after World War II. He said, the Bill of Rights does not give you a guarantee to destroy the Bill of Rights. And so freedom of religion does not mean you can invite a religion in that wants to wipe out your culture, wipe out your Constitution. Because we've already seen what happens in places like Minneapolis, St. Paul, or Dearborn, Michigan, other places. And that's not freedom of religion. The citizens up there have lost control of so much because of that, and they're trying to do that state by state. And now states are starting to put their foot down.
That's it. I hope you guys grasp what he was saying, because all I want to say is this. The information that we're sharing tonight is not against anyone's religion. We are not against Muslim or anything, because not at all. I understand Muslim. I understand that not all Muslims have malice intent or have evil thoughts against the country they receive. There are Muslims who are thankful, who lives in the country, and also it's good to understand that God is moving massively. Iran, for instance, is not a Muslim nation, but it was taken over by the Muslim supremacy, the Brotherhood. But today, from the 75,000 churches in Iran, there's about 50. I say churches, mosque. From the 75,000 mosques in Iran, there's about 50,000 mosques that are shut down. And we might not say 100% because it's tough to prove how many people are converting to Christianity in Iran because of the oppression that is there. But there is a massive revival happening in Iran right now. People are going back to their own faith, and most of them are going back into the Christian faith, converting back to God from Islam, despite the oppression, despite people being hanged and killed. Like recently, like last week, Friday, a young Olympic athlete guy who is a wrestler, who was doing wrestling sports, a young man got hanged for protesting against the Ayatollah's regime. Thank God that guy was bombed from the face of the earth. The earth right now is being eaten up by ants or magnets, if you think about it. So, just to give you guys a little bit of a understanding, what can I say? Thomas Jefferson was one of the most influential and complex figure in the American history, a true Renaissance man. He was a philosopher, architect, musician, and a scientist. Though he is best known as the third president of the United States and the primary author of the Declaration of the Independence. I think that's where I was going, not necessarily one of the founding father of the U.S., but more one of the scholar that put together the Constitution of the United States. I think that's what I wanted to say. People who really put together the Constitution and its value in the U.S. today. Oh my God, they are blessed with the First and Second Amendment they have there. We have nothing here, so we are screwed really. His breakdown of the role that defined his legacy. Here's the breakdown. So the voice of the revolution and the expansionist president from 1801 to 1909. So there's really enough information about President Jefferson. You can't talk about Jefferson without mentioning the deep contradiction of his life while he wrote personality about human liberty. He was also a lifelong slave holder. And that's why from his history, you see him also, you see many a time from the Black Lives Matter, they like to attack the history of the USA because they say it was built, was on slave shoulders, which we already made a show on that, so we're not going to go deep into that. But it's one of the people that have a great influence in the, how can I say, in the American, as the text say, in the American Declaration of Independence, and that's really important for us to know. Let's move forward, okay, from this story. Please take time to understand the story we are sharing with you today, because it might sound far-fetched today, and tomorrow it won't. Like COVID time, many of you during COVID thought it was another far-fetched story. You thought it was just another shenanigan until it wasn't. So please, 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 beware, be watchful, understand. And if you do not understand what a system believes, you will not understand what it produces. If you do not understand what a system believes, you understand what it produces. If you do not understand what a system, like a Islam, like a Muslim Brotherhood, if you don't understand what they believe, you will not, I promise you, you will not understand what it produces. History is not just about the past. It's often also warning signs for the future. If we keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again, the definition of insanity, we're going to be destroyed. We are going to completely be destroyed. That's a fact. That's a fact. We can't avoid it. So let's move on from this story. This was video number 3, right, production? If I'm not mistaken. So one thing I want you to know is, like, if you refuse to study ideas, you will keep being shocked by outcomes that were predictable. Let me repeat it. If you refuse to study ideas, you will keep being shocked by outcomes that were predictable. There are many things you're saying here, it doesn't make sense to you right now, or it even sounds boring, because from where you are right now to where we're taking you, it feels like I have no idea. It doesn't make sense. But if you go to the UK and understand what is going on in the UK, and you link it to what we're saying right now, or you link it to the house that we show in the beginning of the show, soon enough, I hope by the mercies of God that you're going to make a link yourself. And as you study, you're going to learn that these are not just stories, but these are real, real, real important revelation that you need to take seriously. You must take them seriously. Okay? Let's continue with the show of tonight. As we move on from this story, we're going to go in our next story. And this next segment, I think, is also a very a beautiful segment for us to really look into. What video number is this, production? I think this is number 4. And this is one of the segments that I'm very curious about what you're going to think about it. Because we all been through the time COVID was there. We saw the impact of COVID. We saw the impact of COVID. And this story shows us how Fauci was part of the plan that was put into place against many of us. I promise you, against many of us. So, let me just open this because I don't even have to say because what? It's important for me to open this. So now, during COVID, Dr. Fauci says something that was very important. And in this video, we're going to show you what he says. And thank God that the truth is coming to life. And many of you do not believe it. But now after you see this, I promise you're going to understand why this matters. Please go on and cue that video if you're ready.
In an interview that you gave as part of an audiobook written by Michael Spector, that you believed an institutional should make it hard for people to live their lives so they'd feel pressured to get vaccinated. Could we run the audio clip on that, please?
You think can be done about it? I have to say that I don't see a big solution other than some sort of mandatory vaccination. I know federal officials don't like to use that term.
Once people feel empowered and protected legally, You were going to have schools, universities, and colleges are going to say, you want to come to this college, buddy? You're going to get vaccinated. Lady,
You hear that
you're gonna
language?
Get vaccinated. Big corporations like Amazon and Facebook and all of those others are going to say, you want to work for us, you get vaccinated. And it's been proven that when you make it difficult for people in their lives, they lose their ideological bullshit and they get vaccinated.
You hear that?
Thank you. Are all objections to COVID vaccinations ideological bullshit, Dr. Fauci?
No, they're not, and that's not what I was referring to.
Well, in reference to making it hard for people to get education, traveling, working, I'd say it very much was in context. And I take great offense to this. Miss Allison Williams testified before this committee about losing her job because she sought an exemption for ESPN's vaccine mandate, which came from recommendations from bureaucrats like yourself. She and her husband were actively working with a fertility expert, a physician, on how to get pregnant, and agreed with the premise that she was young, healthy, wanted to get pregnant, and shouldn't get the vaccination for medical purposes. But she was fired because you made it hard, just like you said in your statement, because you didn't want to make sure that the ideological bullshit got in the way of her working, of living her life, of making a medical decision with her healthcare professional. I think America should take great offense to this. That's exactly what you meant when you said making it hard for people to live without getting a vaccination. You affected people's ability to work, travel, be educated, to actually flourish in American society, to self-determine, as we're all given God-given rights. Shame on you. Dr. Fauci, you've become Dr. Fear. Americans do not hate science. I don't hate science. The American people hate having their freedoms taken from them. You inspired and created fear through mask mandates, school closures, vaccine mandates that have destroyed the American people's trust in our public health institutions. This fear you created will continue to have ripple effects over generations to come. You have already seen its effects in education, in the economy, and everything else. Quite frankly, you said, if you disagree with me, you disagree with science. Dr. Fauci, I disagree with you because I disagree with fear. And with that, I yield.
It's the question that I have, production for that matter, or viewers, Chad, the question that I have is that when is this man going to be held accountable? Think about it. When is this man going to suffer the consequences of his actions? Really? When enough is going to be enough? Because I have a friend of mine who during COVID, she was a lawyer studying law here in the Netherlands. Very young. No, just keep it here for a moment. She was very young, articulated, sportive. Every morning she'll wake up and she'll go to the sports. She'll go running to remain healthy. But because of the mandates pushed by this man, because I don't know why they still call him doctor, because there are real doctors who lost their licenses because they refused these lies, because they told the truth. But why does he get to keep the DR in front of his name? Come on, yo. You guys have to stop playing games, really. Think about this. Yes, I understand you took the job. But common sense hits, now you have to realize that it shouldn't have never been like that. His words, people will have to be forced to lose their employment, to get out of their comfort so that they could stop their ideology bullshit. Basically, they strong arm you so that you could surrender your right to them. Is that the world we live in today? Believe you me, if that's the world we live in today, then we are in biggest trouble, especially us here without any First or Second Amendment. We're in trouble. This is not just a gentle persuasion. This is making life painful until people surrender. It reveals how quickly leaders can move from advertising citizens to squeezing them into obedience. That's what it is. So why does it matter? Why is this so important for you to understand? Why do I even share this story with you? This is another sign that the house is already on the edge. The image we shared in the beginning. People think they are still free because they can still move around inside the house. But the system has already learned how to pressure them. And that pressure is getting closer and closer and closer. The four walls of the house are coming together slowly, slowly, slowly. And by the time you now want to run out of the house, you open the front door, trying to step out, you realize, like the image, you are living on a cliff and you're falling off. So what can we do about it? First, understanding the times we are in. When power lands, it can push people into obedience. Freedom is already in trouble. When power lands, it can push you into obedience. Freedom is already in trouble. So you need to understand what your freedom is and what you can do about it. And talking about freedom as we move in this next segment, and this next segment is about Aldi meat story, Aldi and halal meat story. And in this segment, I'm going to paint a picture for you. Or let me say, in this video, the claim here by this amazing woman, she's sharing a story about how she went to Aldi. Okay. Oh, amazing. How can I miss it on my notes? It's good. Let's play video number 8 next. After, let me see. After this, just hold it for me, please. Let's go to video number 6 for now. Yeah. This is about more than food. It's about conviction, identity, and a hidden promise in everyday life. Are you a Muslim that must you eat halal food? And do you understand what halal food is? If you don't know what halal food is, I want you to think about it. Because what we're going to see in this video actually is this amazing lady. She's going to present to us what really halal food is. Are you guys ready? Let's go.
Because I normally love to shop at Aldi's. You know, the prices are good or whatever. And usually when I buy meat from Aldi's, I get this. This is my favorite meat to buy from Aldi's. It's supposed to be organic.
Supposed to be.
I need my glasses, but I love this meat. But when I went to Aldi's today, they did not have any. They was out. So, I mean, I wanted to make some tacos. So I got some more. I was looking at the meat. And the other meat, the more 90%, it don't have as much fat. I don't really like the flavor. So I found this. Look at that. Isn't that nice? It says Aldi meat. It says Aldi. This is Aldi meat. Meat from Aldi. And guess what it says on the back? Right in old Central Florida, we got halal, Muslim, Islamic meat right in our stores. We said, what's the problem? What's the problem? I'm a Christian. Jesus is king. He is the only God, the only true one God. He's the truth, the way, and the light. Okay? And this meat, halal meat, you see that? Halal meat. Right on my Aldi hamburger that I'm finna get to my dogs, because it's perfect for my dogs. I won't eat this. Let's see what halal meat is. Halal meat comes from animals slaughtered and processed according to Islamic Sharia law. In my Central Florida, I didn't go to no Muslim store. They didn't warn me some of this meat has been where a Muslim invokes Allah's name during a swift cut to the neck. So I'm not being forced, right? Because I'm not going to eat it. I don't want no meat that was sacrificed for Allah. I don't want no meat that was cut while it was alive and drained the blood in worship to Allah, who I believe best of deceivers, and Allah is the best of deceivers. I have no parts of no halal meat. So my dogs, they finna have them a good old time. They're gonna have them a good time. They finna get 4 halal meat patties. So they cut the cow neck and praised Allah as they watched his blood drain to the ground. Now I say this is opening my mind to
it's a good food
the meat
for the
that
dogs.
we are eating. Because I've been really trying to be careful what I eat. Right?
So the sound in the background is crazy.
Of Australia or the USA. I don't know halal meat. We need to get a list of Christian farmers, Christian meat farmers, Christian food farmers that do things for the glory of God. All the beautiful buildings you've seen in the past, all those old world buildings, those were buildings that were made toward the glory of God. If you see everything that was made towards the glory of God through Christianity has been beautiful and wonderful. I don't know nothing about no halal. Those women with their faces all covered in they black with the little pierced eyes like this, that's not beautiful to me.
There you have it, y'all. There you have it. This, let me see if I can get this on screen. Amazing. So this is exactly what we're talking about here. This is exactly the house on the cliff. Your house has been moved on the cliff. You've been sleeping. You've been cuddling. Picture hang on the wall. You still have your electricity and water and you think everything is fine. Until you wake up, you open the door, you step out and you find yourself over the cliff. Why? Because you've been pushed till at the brink of destruction. I'm telling you. This is, listen, I want you guys to see that not every wake-up calls come through government or headlines. Understand that. Sometimes it comes through the supermarkets. Sometimes the biggest change enters through normal life. And because they look small, people ignore them. They look harmless. You think there's nothing wrong with it. Oh, my Lord, my dear precious viewers, understand this. What we're dealing with here, we're dealing with a system that is put in place to really dominate, not to live together. That's not part of their plan. That is part of us. That's a problem. That's why it's getting us in trouble, really. Because we think we're just going to live together. We think, oh, no, there's nothing wrong with it. Yo, come on, man. Don't be tripping. Don't be tripping, Glory. There's nothing wrong with what's going on here. This story matters because this proves that the mountain's house problem is not only out there. The mountain is not only in the US, it's not only in Africa. It is in the details of daily life, even here. The house is moving in the ordinary places. The house is moving in the ordinary places too, really. Even in your beautiful neighborhoods where you live, you think you're untouchable in that neighborhood. You think like, because you're in this beautiful neighborhood, hey, nobody's going to get to you. Believe you me. They are coming and they are not scared about it. So, a takeaway from this is my takeaway. Big shifts often enter through the smallest doors. Big shifts often enter through the smallest doors. Big impact often comes from those you did not see coming. I promise you, this is not a joke, and we should not be joking about this any longer. Let's arise and shine. Let's arise and shine like the scripture said. The God did not position us to just do life, to survive, to work like an elephant and eat like an ant. No. It's not my portion, it's not your portion, our viewers. It's none of our portion. But hey, let me stop ranting. Let's move on our next video. We're going to go to video number 7, by the way, production. And we'll play the next one after. And this is also another story that really makes me shiver. It makes me upset somehow. But then I'm like, okay, Glory, you being upset, it won't change nothing. So just pull yourself together. And this is a story that proved that this is a story about journalism smashing a statue of Mary and Jesus for fun, for I don't know what. They're smashing this statue, but when asked if they would do the same to Muhammad or Jewish symbols, they refuse. And the reason that is given actually are that there are many Muslims in Belgium, in Brussels. And this is a story from a Belgium radio station. Group of Soulars are attacking, how can I say? And they say because Belgium is a Christian nation, or formerly Christian according to them, and they come from a Christian background, so they have the right to do this. Does it make sense? Please, when you're ready, let's cue this video. This doesn't make sense.
Let me ask you a question, because you mentioned respecting each other. I'm thinking of respect towards all of the listeners. You played a video in there. What was it, the smashing video? You were doing a smashing class.
Yeah, we had a rage room because we were beating the blue out of the Monday. So people could text us like, I have a blue Monday because my car broke and everything. And we said, okay, I will smash something
and
for you, Callum. Bam!
And you smashed.
And then he was out. They
and
said,
they're
like,
having
wow,
fun.
this really felt good.
And it was pretty intense. And I saw in one part you had a statue of Jesus. Now, I know you laugh, but do you think that for many listeners, they would find that so deeply offensive to take a bat and to smash Jesus into pieces?
Wasn't it Madonna, by the way? Madonna, by the way? No, it was.
That's fine.
Listeners, they would find that so deeply offensive to take a bat and to smash Jesus.
This is Mary. This is statue of Mary. Is that Jesus? That looks like Mary, man. No, I think it's almost, okay, it looks like Jesus with open hands like this. But there's also another statue they smashed next to it. I thought because they say one was faced away, so you won't see the face. So I was guessing that must be Jesus. So help make sense out of this. I can't read those small little. Okay, I can read it. Jonas Moore said, Mijn collega's maken te veel lawaai. So it's me like my colleagues are making too much noise. So, but there's all joking. You can see how joking is like I thought it was Madonna. I can see now from this bigger screen that is Jesus. Yes, I can see that. My apologies for mistaking Jesus for Mary. It's the mother anyway, so that's okay. I can get away with that. I'm a Christian too. Doesn't make sense. So here, beloved viewers, is a statue of Jesus. They're smacking. And when they tell them, can you do this to a Muslim statue? Their reaction is like, no, there are many Muslims in Belgium. Are you telling me today there are more Muslims in Belgium than Christians? It's a possibility. I didn't look into that. Please continue.
Jesus into pieces.
Wasn't it Madonna, by the way? No, it was. No.
There was one, I think, of Madonna, the Madonna and the child, and there was one of Jesus.
So that's a very good question, because I think it might offend people. I think in Belgium, not really. We're not a very religious country.
Anymore.
Definitely not
really.
The listeners of Studio Brussels. But what we did, all the things we smashed, we made it very clear as well that these were all things.
Belgium is not anymore a religious country. Studio Brussels. If you are watching me from Brussels, this is what Studio Brussels believe. There's a word for this, I cannot get it out of my tongue. Desecrates? They can desecrate, I think that's a word. If I'm wrong, ChatGPT will help you to find it. They can desecrate the statue of Christian belief. Personally, I don't believe. I have nothing with statues. I'm more of a. But Catholics, which is, I think the majority in Belgium could be Catholics, and I was brought up from the Belgium system, so believe you me, I understand. It's mostly Catholic, you know. They should not be offended because Belgium is not a Christian country anymore. So you have no right to be offended because this is not a Christian country. Oh, wait a minute. So why then being fearful of the Muslim when is Belgium now a Muslim country? Is Belgium now, we are not religious. Oh, so you're only Islamic now? You're what? Doesn't even make. Go on, please.
Already broken. So the statue, it was turned face towards the back of the room, so you wouldn't see the face as well, because that was already, it was a broken statue as well. But I think I would have been more careful in another country,
58%.
Definitely. In Belgium, it is not a big issue.
Oh, really?
Let me ask you this. If
Pause
you were
it.
doing the video
Pause
again,
it. Oh my
would you
God.
smash a symbol of the Prophet Muhammad?
Oh, let them answer that, and then you can pause it.
That is a very dangerous one.
You wouldn't do it.
You
Why
hear
not?
that? Pause it
No,
now.
because that would be inappropriate.
You hear that? Will you have done it to a Prophet Muhammad symbol? That would be a very dangerous thing. Why? Yo, think about it. Why will it be a dangerous thing to smash to smash Jesus and Maria and not Muhammad, who's even dead? Why? I'm serious. You see how they become immediately uncomfortable. Pull back the way she hold herself immediately in the like a form of defense. She's like, ooh, she pulled back immediately when the question was asked. Please play that video just a little bit back because I don't want to pause it too long. Go on.
Smash a symbol of the Prophet
Look
Muhammad?
at their expression.
That is a very dangerous one.
You wouldn't
You
do
see
it.
how
Why
nice-
not?
She's
No,
like,
because that would be inappropriate. Because in Belgium there are many.
Well, there are Christians too. I know the Pope visited Belgium recently.
No, I know they're Christians, but it's since we are all from the Christian tradition, I think it's like laughing with yourself, or like.
But you would never do it with Muhammad.
No.
Star of David for Judaism?
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't
Pause
do
it.
it.
No.
It's the same.
I'm so sorry, guys. Just have to stop it because they're just really ranting and yapping around without saying nothing. You see what's the double standards of the media? Because these people are part of the media. They are Radio Brussels, they call themselves, something like that, right? VRT, Studio Brussels, Belgium, radio host, whatever that is. But do you understand where we are at in the society, especially in the Westerners, the Western people? What's wrong or what's right with you? How can you subscribe to this type of idiotic ideology? It doesn't even make sense. Listen, this is what it is. This is what it is. This is the life. You are on the cliff and you're about to go down. You're about to go down. Your house has been pushed far and you've been sleeping, enjoying the warmth and the company of your home. You wake up early in the morning. On the moment you open the door, you realize your house has been pushed on the cliffs. Or you realize your neighbors have left. And there's a big opening around your home. And they're about to bury you 6 feet under. I'm seriously. This is what these people are all about. Yo, you think glory is just here, you're just ranting around. I'm telling you, if we do not change our belief in the Western country, there will be no more Western. How can you be fearful of a minority? Production. How many Christians in Belgium? 54% Christian? Roman Catholics. How many? 58%. Between 52, 58. So you can say, if you say 54, we are safe. Percent Roman Catholic in Belgium versus What about the other, let me say 46? Agnostic and atheist, and atheists are 25 to 30. How can you be fearful of, let me say, to be safe, 6% of people and attack this 54%? Muslims are only about between 5 and 7. So you can say, if you say 6, you are safe. 6% of population in Belgium are Muslim. And look how fearful they are. You know why? Muslims don't take shenanigans. Christians, we are just sometimes... Oh, I'm so sorry for our viewers on YouTube, because I can see that we are lagging. Now it's back to excellence, right? My apologies with YouTube, man, and Facebook, man, and probably Rumble, man. We are lagging there, but we thank God for what He's doing. So my point being, like, let us have iron balls for once in our dear life and stand for our belief. Because this is crazy. This is crazy. Why does this matter? Listen. What I want to show you is that once power decides your freedom is less important than its own agenda, once they've made a decision, caution become normal. And today it is one issue we tolerate. Tomorrow it is another we tolerate. A society that gets used to being forced in compliance becomes easy to manipulate, become easy to control. A society that get used to being forced in compliance become easy to manipulate. These are goons. Look, you can see this, you think they are men and ladies. These are goner. These are just people who believes, they believe even the lie that they said themselves to wake up in the morning. These are the people you can see in the image right now on the screen. Like these the people you can see in this image. These are the people right there. I'm telling you. Let's move on. But there's a takeaway that I want to give you guys. When power lands, it can punish people into obedience. Freedom is already in trouble. Oh my God. Production. We have work to do. Big shifts often enter through the smallest door. That's why I told you guys. Big shifts often enters through the smallest door. If you do not wake up today, you have no nation to stand for. And if you cannot stand for anything, you will die. If you don't stand for anything, you will die for nothing. I'm telling you, if you cannot stand for anything, you'll die for nothing. A society that only dares to insult what is safe, to insult, it is not brave, it is broken. A society that is only there to insult what is safe to insult, it is not safe. It is not bravery, it is a broken society. This is another proof that a house has moved. A house has moved. Let's now shift a bit from Belgium. Let's take a look at Britain culture. Let's take a look on this next video. And this next video, what it's about? At a protest filled with chants of Allah Akbar, a man says simple thing, God bless you, to a Muslim, and is reportedly was arrested. And the message is that free speech is no longer equal in the UK. In the UK, there's no such thing as free speech anymore. I'm telling you. Go on. Cue the video. This is video number 8. This is video number 8. I think I've changed the order for you, production. You're going to have to forgive me.
Can you imagine this is supposed to be nominally a Christian country where you get arrested for saying God bless you?
It is absolutely ridiculous, the state that this country has descended into. And it is a woeful act by police that are clearly not doing anything to dispel the public perception that we have two-tier policing and two-tier justice. When you have all manner of members of the radical Islamic community screaming Allahu Akbar, along with Palestinian protestors screaming death to Jews and various other racial slurs and tropes, and a man gets arrested for saying, God bless you, what on earth are we coming to in the United Kingdom?
Most definitely. I think it's a shocking story, and it must really bother you as a practicing bishop yourself. I feel that the institutions of this country, the police, the corporate sector, the blob, the bureaucracy, and the political class are now actively anti-Christian.
I completely agree with you. We've seen it, you know, when you get institutional members of the Church of England and other denominations writing in criticism of the fact that Christians profess their faith at the United Kingdom rally, and then Sky News, BBC doing hit pieces on myself and others because of our defense of the Christian faith. And then this overtly socialist, Marxist government and the various NGOs connected to them actively persecuting Christians in the United Kingdom. What they fear is this: we are walking in the truth of who Christ is and in defense of our Christian faith, and we cannot be controlled. And that is sending a chill down the spine of the lefty liberal establishment elites that fear, like Constantine did in 325 AD when he unified Rome under the Christian faith, that if we truly know the truth of who Christ is and are delivered by that, we will be far too powerful to control. And we are seeing a rise of true Christian faith once again in our land, and we are being called Christian nationalists and everything else, persecuted, arrested, you name it, simply to stop us. But we will not be deterred, and we will not be silent.
This is a system, what they call the two-tier system, where one side is being protected, one freedom of speech, of religion is being protected, while the other one is being completely what? Oppressed, silenced, shut down. One speech is more important than the other. It makes you wonder why. Why protected one and another is being punished? That means fairness is dying and fear is entering the law. But the question is, why is fairness dying? Why are you making it, why are you not even hiding it anymore? Before, people will hide this type of behavior, but today it's not hidden anymore. I just want you guys to understand this, that when speech is no longer judged by equal rules, democracy is already wounded. Democracy is gone. It's gone. If one side can speak boldly and the other side gets punished for simply breathing, for simple words, the system is no longer neutral. That's when it's time for you to move to Africa. I'm kidding, but seriously. Don't go moving to Africa because you're going to take the same mentality there of doing nothing against issues. Stay here. You made your bed, sleep in it. Until you learn from it. Until you understand that your house has been moved at the cliffside and is about to go over. Until you wake up that morning, you open the door and realize, like in that picture, that you're going over. Stay there. When equal speech disappears, equal freedom is already disappearing with it. Period. This is another age of the mountain moment. People think they still live in a free society because the house still has light. But the ground beneath it is already shifted, beloved. The ground beneath it is already shifted. The ground beneath him versus them is already shifted. So be aware. Understand what you're up against. Stop sleeping, no slumbering. It's not going to do you any favor. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on. From UK, the point of today is wake up before your house fall over. Wake up. That's the theme of tonight. Wake up. And this is another story an imam explained plans to take over. UK is gone. But God forbid, though. It looks gone, appears gone, because if you go to the UK, you won't recognize it. But now their plans is being initiated in the US. And they are celebrating the fact that Zoran Mandan has become the mayor of the biggest capitals in the world, size of a country. They're celebrating it. It empowers them. It gives them more oomph to go for. So, and Imam says big change is coming to America through Muslim mayors, school board, demographic growth, and eventually a Muslim president. They say if Barack Hussein Obama, forgive me, if he became president, what is stopping them for also becoming president? Imagine America having a Muslim president. Believe you me, there'll be no more Bibles in schools, no more Bible in public places. There'll be no more swearing on the Bible to be on the Quran. Promise you. I'm telling you this. I don't want to say mark my word because I don't want this to happen. Listen. Please go on. Cue this video. Yes.
One day you're going to be the president of the United States of America. No one, Koi Michael Ali, who can stop you from becoming a president. Dream big. Have a vision. Because if Barack Hussein Obama can be a president, Sohaib Jawad cannot be a president.
You hear that?
Yeah. He's going to be a president. He's talking about that the Muslims will take over Mecca. They used to laugh at him. What happened? What is Mecca now? Where is Mecca? It's coming. Change is coming to America. And what is Allah telling us? Kuntum khayra ummatin. You are the best of nations. You're better than everybody else. That's what Allah is saying. Let's work towards that. Let's work towards a Muslim mayor. Next election that comes in, nominate people for the school board of education. Next election that comes here, nominate people for the local township. Begin the demographics change. People converted. There's a big, huge conversion going on in this country. Where are the converts? They just convert and they're gone in the wilderness. The other thing, children. Muslims have the highest population. Average, they did Pew Foundation did a research study, Pew Foundation, and they said that Muslim household average is 3.4 child per family. The white American has 1 child per family. We're already beating the march because these are voters. These are not just babies being born in hospitals. These are voters. That's the way a politician looks at it. We have to change the framework and start looking at things from a different lens, different angle for future. You're not going to change society today in your lifetime, but you think about your grandchildren.
Yep. So what are you going to say about that? Production, what are you going to say about that? The future of your children. How many children do you guys want to have? That was a quick. What did you say? 11 and adopt a few hundred. And another one says 6. Please. Listen, this idea, man, don't you guys understand why life is becoming so tough, or they made life so tough in the Western? It was never to benefit Western people. It was actually to go against them. Y'all are sleeping. You guys are sleeping. The house is moving. Y'all are sleeping. The house is moving. Let me put this on the screen. This is what's happening. Your house is moving. Y'all are sleeping. The house is at the cliffside. Y'all are sleeping. I'm telling you. They are planning. They are communicating. They're having constantly meetings like this. You are watching Netflix. You are watching shows on TikTok. You are spending time on Instagram. You are on Rumble. You're not even watching the Glory Today show. You're busy watching all that type of nonsense and shenanigan out there. They are sitting like this. They're having podcast conversation. I will show you the evidence for you to understand. This is a step-by-step conquest through local influence plan they have. It's not emotional. It is not strategic. It is understand that if you shape school, leadership, and the demographic, you shape the future. They're going after the youngster one. They're not playing games. We cannot just be sitting there and say, oh, I'm going to be focusing on my family is a priority. Let me tell you one thing. Today, your family is a priority because you think you have that freedom. Tomorrow, your family is going to be taken away from you. You have yet to say about it. I want to show you, guys, that long-term vision beats lazy reaction. I'm telling you. Too many people laugh at small beginnings. You see the Glory Today show, you come, we have this amount of viewers, and you just laugh and move on. You become like that Sula on Instagram. What's his name again? That's Sula on Instagram who used to bully us, and I think we're going to stop. I haven't heard from him for a long time. What is his name? What is his name? Yocham. Exactly. You guys are like my friend Yocham, who has been busy mocking and mocking and mocking. I'm like, Yocham, you wait and see me in 3 years. Listen, what I want you guys to understand is that there is no reward in being lazy. Too many people are laughing at the small beginning. Then cry when the result becomes national. By then, it is late for you to do anything about it. So, why does it matter? Let's look at why does this matter. This story is the blueprint version of your mountain house metaphor. Your mountain house metaphor. Because my house is not there. This one is a blueprint version of your mountain house metaphor that we've been expressing this throughout this whole show. The house did not fly to the mountain by magic. Somebody moved it piece by piece, piece by piece. While you are doing what? Snoozing, sleeping. The future, this is the takeaway for you to take out tonight. The future belongs to the people who think farther ahead than everybody else. That's the people that the future belongs to. For those who think farther ahead. And as we are moving toward the end, I need you to hear me out, y'all. In this next video, we're going to see the video, an example of another planning. Imam on freedom of speech and the takeover. They are studying our system. They're studying the laws to understand how to bend them, or let me say, use them for their own benefits. They're looking into it. They're trying to understand how can we apply this so that it can benefit our plans, how it can benefit our, how can I say, systematic ideas. And this Imam says America is a gold mine because there are no restriction on converting people. And in 50 years, Islam could become the biggest religious group in the country. They say, he says this, he can go to Manhattan and he will ask people to convert to Islam without any repercussion. But then he goes as far as says, if you do that in Saudi Arabia, it will not even allowed. He said in Saudi Arabia, we're not even allowed to do a thing like that. Believe you me. This is what I want you to understand. That freedom without discernment is dangerous. If you celebrate openness without wisdom, you can help build the system that later replaced you and your own. Please go on and cue that next video. This is video 14.
We are in a gold mine. This is a deep water where if we have to launch big ships, Islam, Da'wah of Islam, this is a right place. No restrictions on Da'wah. No restrictions on Da'wah. Even if you go to Saudi Arabia, you cannot do Da'wah. You will be caught. This country, I can stand in the middle of Manhattan and I can call people, nobody can stop it. Trump cannot stop it. Biden cannot stop me. Nobody can stop me. About 50 years from now, Muslims will become the #1 religious group compared to Christians. In 50 years, inshallah. Approaching Christians with the message of Islam is the easiest thing to do. We can start with commonalities, things that we both accept, understand, agree on theology.
Do you understand, y'all? Do you get it? Listen, what is dawah? Let's look at what really dawah is, y'all, because you need to understand what he's talking about. Literal translation, dawah is the Arabic word for literally means invasion. No, invitation. Invasion. It's almost the same to me, man, because these guys are invading. It means invitation or summons. In a religious context, it refers to the act of inviting or calling people, both Muslim and non-Muslim, to understand and accept the message of Islam and the worship of their God, Allah. Allah, not Allah. So dawah, it means invitations. That's what they do in the morning, the dawah, the call to prayer. It is often described as a prophetic mission because every messenger in Islamic tradition, from Noah and Abraham to Moses, Jesus and Muhammad, is believed to have engaged in dawah to guide their people. My Jesus is not part of your nonsense. Oh my God. That video. Yo, can somebody, one of you, if possible, to find that video I shared on my story on IG? If you can find the link of it. If you can find the link of it, that would be amazing. Otherwise, how could I forget to get that video? Because I want to get that video. So, freedom can be used. You did? Yes. Now? Yes. Okay, fantastic. Freedom can be used against the people who protect it. Open society are vulnerable when one side treats freedom as value and the other treats it as a strategy. I'm telling you, that's what's happening. Freedom, freedom, freedom. What does freedom mean when you open your door openly to everybody to enter without even a border, without even a, how can I say, a security for that matter? You guys, I want you guys to understand that freedom without discernment is dangerous. I'm telling you, it's dangerous. You gotta get this. This is another sign that the house is moving while people are still decorating the living room. They are celebrating openness while the edge gets closer and closer and closer and closer, as we can see in this image right here. You are busy. You are busy decorating the living room. You are busy celebrating openness while the edge gets just closer. Because these people are not celebrating with you. Freedom without wisdom. Freedom without wisdom can become the weapon that destroys the people defending it. Freedom without wisdom. That's why I call freedom without, it rhymes. We should make a t-shirt with that production. Freedom without wisdom leads to destruction. Period. Let's move on from this story. Are you ready? Production, we're going to the video number 10. I think I have to call them for you because I think I messed up the order. And this is also an example as we are closing the video. You see, we have a tendency to give you the story and we're going to close on a high pitch so that we don't leave you hanging on something that looks like a negative. And this is... Oh, let me see. I think we can do that now because let's see if we can do that video now. If I can see it. If I can see that video, because there's a video and I want to show you guys that I think it is relevant to the story that we're sharing as we are going to at the end of the show of tonight. And we're going to end the show with some powerful, there's two powerful video, I think. One powerful video, two powerful video that I want to share with you that I strongly believe that are good. I can't see anything, y'all. Where did you send it? Okay, thank you. Was it in the group or so? Let me see. Just a moment. Just mute it so that we don't blow the ears of our precious viewers. And this is a video that maybe many of you have seen, but I saw this video I saw this video, Lord have mercy, on IG the other day, and I did share it. And maybe I can read what it Lord. I'll read. Jesus according to Islam versus Christianity. And I think it's such a it's beautiful depiction. How do you say that? Depiction. Sometimes my words just go into my nose or something. I don't know. Depiction of, and I know this lady because this lady, she's always come with a pretty little face, which you almost can't see anything of it, and with a little smile, telling you how much she understands you. And I think our viewers for now, you guys have grasped this and that. You can show it, it's fine. Our viewers by now, you've grasped the strategy of pretending like we're in one accord, we are living together when we are not. That's the strategy they use. They pretend like they're in agreement with you, and they tell you they believe in Jesus. That's what she started with. I believe in Jesus. And you're like, yeah, I'm a Muslim. Listen.
I believe in Jesus. Wait a minute, isn't she Muslim? Yes, she is.
Yes, she is.
In fact,
yes,
many
she is.
Muslims.
And by the way, to give you a context, finally I have control of my poses. Hallelujah. But I will not torment you. She is one of the Muslim women. If I remember correctly, she's married to, she's in Canada. She's a Canadian Muslim. And she was helping her husband to find his second wife. According to their culture, because it's allowed for the husband to have a second wife.
Hey guys, we gotta
stop it. So let's listen to this Muslim. So she was helping her husband to find a second wife.
Muslims believe in Jesus. Jesus, peace be upon him, is mentioned more times in the Quran than the Prophet Muhammad.
You are a liar. Your Jesus is not my Jesus. The Muslim Jesus is not the Jesus of the Bible. Your Jesus is one of the prophets. My Jesus is God, King of kings and Lord of lords. Your Jesus was taken to heaven to escape death. My Jesus was crucified and resurrected on the third day. Your Jesus is just a good teacher of truth. My Jesus is the truth. Your Jesus will return to worship Allah. My Jesus will return to rule and reign as King of Kings. Same name, different person. One of them is true, the other is a counterfeit. As Romans 10:9 says, if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. In Christianity, we believe three things.
Okay, we get it. Okay, let me just finish that.
Jesus is God, Jesus was crucified, and Jesus was resurrected. Muhammad comes 600 years after Jesus and says, actually, Jesus is not God, he's a prophet.
That's a lie. And I love what the chat said. That's the one chat we're going to read. As an what's that? As an ex-Muslim Arab, I confirm that once you dive deep into Islamic scripture, you are left with two options. Get possessed with the spirit of hate and become an extremist by following the teaching of Islam, or, listen, I'm just reading the post. So this is not my opinion. This is the claim that a person wrote a post made. Or just leave it. You cannot cherry pick and make up your own Islam. This will make you a kafir. So you end up back to option 2. I found Christ now, and I'm very blessed to follow him. Amen. Give them a little heart if I can check. Amen. That's powerful. Every knee shall bow, every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. He is God. I reckon. Fact, Jesus is king. Fact, Muhammad is and Jesus is king. Hey. So basically, we understand that. I'm sorry, man of God, for pose you like that to make you look like that. So let's continue to the next video that we have for you guys. Get a video ready because I don't want to show that screen that I'm seeing on the graphics. Now we are moving because I wanted to finish with this to show you, despite everything we are seeing happening around us, there is a revival. There is a move of God. There's something that God is doing that I believe is very powerful. And this is a public school gathering where reportedly sees almost the entire room responds to the gospel, with 50 out of 55 students giving their hearts to Jesus. Listen, yo, isn't that something to celebrate in this day and age? This generation is not dead. Young people are still hungry for truth. Revival is still possible in places people assume belongs only to darkness. Please play this short little video.
Anybody else? Appreciate you, man. Just come right here. I'm gonna break you all set. Just keep, if you need to come, yeah, you can just stay right here. Anybody else? Yeah, speak just real quick. No pressure, no pressure. Awesome. If y'all can y'all kind of like look at? I'm not trying to be weird, but I want to see you and make your face. Just you kind of look at me. Awesome. Praise God. Praise God. Wow.
You get it, yo? People are running to the front to come and give their life to Christ. Revival is still happening today, day and age. Listen, I want to bring hope into this room right now. Because after all those warnings, you need to reminder. And listen, if you're not a Christian watching this program and it makes you wonder, it's like, but what you're doing is the same. First of all, it's not the same as what they're doing. Because there's no weapon on your head. And if you are living your life as one of the alphabetic people, Christianity does not make you fly off the building and singing, I believe I can fly, and then you hit the pavement, you realize you can't. That's not Christianity. Christianity will come to you and tell you the good news, the gospel. Give your life to Christ. And the choice remains yours whether you do that or not. So it is not even close to being the same. So just a short little disclaimer right there. So, and I want you to understand that after all those warnings, you need to remember that God is still moving. The enemy is active, yes. The enemy is doing what the enemy is doing, but so is God, and the darkness is not going to prevail against Christ because Christ is King. This is the moment where I want you all to understand, yes, the house has moved, but God can still wake the family up before they step off the cliff. You understand? Before they step off the cliff, God can still move the family. And this generation is not far gone for revival. Actually, revival is happening now. And in this next short little video from Coretta Boom, I call this segment the Coretta Boom train ticket story. And Coretta Boom shares how her father, that's why it's so important for us to have fathers or to have elders around us, how her father told her that God gives strength for suffering when the moment comes. Often we want to have strength before even suffering ever happened, so that by the time suffering has happened, you're like, oh, let me pull my strength card right there and then. Here it is. Oop, I am ready for suffering because I have my strength card here.
I show these people that in heaven there will be a martyr crown. And life is short, eternity is long. And I show this.
Oh, you do hear something? So what changed? What just changed?
People that in heaven there will be a martyr crown.
Try again.
And life is short,
he's trying.
eternity is long. And I told these people also, this what you can read in my book, The Hiding Place, and what you also will hear and see in the movie that is made on that book, that my father, I once said to my father, I was still a little girl, and I said, Daddy, I will never be strong enough to suffer for Jesus. And then father said, when you go to travel with a train to Amsterdam, when do I give you the train ticket?
Because I need to understand. Okay, production, can you play a different video? Just the previous video we're playing, just for the sake of thinking.
Thanks for being bold. Anybody else? Appreciate you, man. Just come right here. I'm gonna pray for you on the set.
I can hear this too.
If you need to come, yeah, you can just stay right there.
Okay, that's weird.
Anybody else? Yes.
Okay, just go ahead and play the video again.
Awesome, awesome.
I show these people that in heaven there will be a martyr crown. And life is short, eternity is long. And I told these people also, this what you can read in my book, The Hiding Place, and what you also will hear and see in the movie that is made of that book, that my father, I once said to my father, I was still a little girl, and I said, Daddy, I will never be strong enough to suffer for Jesus. And then Father said, when you go to travel with a train to Amsterdam, when do I give you the train ticket? 3 weeks before. I said, no, Daddy, the day that I go to travel. And Father said, that's what God does. Today you do not need to have strength to suffer for Jesus. But the moment you will have the honor to suffer for him, he will give you all the strength. And then I was comforted. And I said to these people, when you have to suffer for Jesus, the Lord will give you the train ticket.
Okay, so for some reason we could not hear the video in my ear, but I think, thank God, I get the story of the video. And this is the story where Corrie ten Boom was sharing that she was with her dad, if I get it right. Production, you have to tell me because you listen to it. Exactly. So the idea here is actually the mere fact that we often look to God, or we are trying to do something to make a change, but we are waiting for everything to come to us. But we don't understand that God wants us to make that one step forward. Make that step forward. And at the moment that you need, it's going to come through. Because the dad asked her in this story, if you guys are hoping that you guys were able to hear it. Because the dad asked her and said, because she said to the dad that I'm very scared of persecution, I'm fearful of persecution, I'm fearful of, I'm not sure if that's exactly the word she would. Yes. See, that's what, thank you, production. She said she wasn't sure if she would be able to suffer for Jesus. She would be able to stand and suffer for Jesus. Then her daddy told her, that's very peculiar. It says, when you have to, he says, excuse me, guys. So when you have to travel by train to Amsterdam, when do I give you a ticket? That's very amazing. It's very powerful. So when do I give you a ticket? And she said, the day that I have to travel. The day that I have to travel. And then the daddy said, the same way with God. The day your suffering comes is the day he will give you strength to endure. And she said she was so strengthened and her faith was built up. And I thought, let's end with this. Despite everything we're seeing around us, God is giving us strength. God is with us in the midst of all. God is standing by our side. And the enemy, I know it looks like the enemy is winning and is overcoming and we are losing the battle. No, the enemy is not winning. The enemy is not winning. Just as a reminder, just as a reminder to let you know that don't be, listen, just show my computer screen, yo. If you wake up in the morning and you look around you and you've been sleeping, take a moment and analyze your surroundings. And if you realize that your house has been moved, don't be fearful, especially if you're in God, if you're a Christian. Understand that He's going to give you the strength to overcome no matter what's in front of you. Now, the first video we played, I want to play it again just to show us an example of people that we're going to come across in life. Because there are people that are standing by you, pretending to be with you, portraying themselves as though they defend your values, they stand by you. But meanwhile, in their heart, they're not with you. As long as the pain and the suffering is on your side, they will pretend to encourage you. They will tell you how much is going to be okay. They will tell you that, joy cometh in the morning. These too shall pass. Because the pain and the suffering is not on their side. But on the moment the situation changes, on the moment there is a shift in your situation, and they're in the same predicament as you were, their reaction is going to be this way. Please cue that video when you're ready.
Don't worry. He collected the phone. The Lord will fight your battle. If I be a man of God, this boy will come back here and give your phone. Pastor, are you sure? Exactly. God, don't worry. Mercy upon us. This boy, he collected your phone. It's your phone, no? Blood of Jesus.
That's the story for tonight, yo. God give the tickets on the day of travel. God is going to be with you. The final message for me is this. This is that people are asleep while danger grows. The biggest change often happens quietly. Understand, society normalizes what should alarm us. Freedom is more fragile than people really realize. Compromise entered through ordinary life. Double standards reveal fear and confusion, like you can see in that video. And long-time strategy beats short-time emotions. Long-time strategy beats short-time emotions. But God is still moving, and he gives strength when the time comes. If there's anything for you to take out of this video, of tonight, is to understand that you are not alone in this. And no matter what is happening around you, you are not alone. You are not helpless. And this too shall pass. If you have not subscribed, you have not shared this with friends and family, please help us do so that we can be able to reach with this message to as many people as possible. This is not goodbye. Thank you for being here with us. My name is Glory and the Glory Today show team. And we want to say one thing. So we approve this message. We shall see you guys on Friday. Shalom.
To everyone who watched from start to finish, to those who joined up when your presence didn't diminish, whether you were live or watching the replay, thank you for giving us your time today. You could have been anywhere, doing anything, scrolling through nonsense, watching mindless things, but you chose to be here, you chose the truth, you chose to stand with us, and that's the proof. From the ones in the chat, keeping it alive, to the silent watchers who just vibe. You're the reason we do this every single week. You're the reason we're bold when others stay meek. So let me hear you say yeah. Thanks for being here. We couldn't do this without